Hi everyone. We're just gonna wait for a couple of people to tune in. Hello everyone. Hi Meghna. Hello the Fly Kid. Hello Siddharth. Hi Ankita. Hello Radha. Hello Mishika. Great. Good to see a lot of you here. I'm just gonna wait, a couple of minutes more, like a minute more actually. All right. Yes, I'm doing well. For the ones who are asking. Okay. So today's topic is living in the here and now. My name is Binaisha Kharas and I'm going to be having this session with you today. And we have a good bunch to begin. So let me begin to start off today's session. A few things. I will be disabling the comment section simply so that we can just all stay focused on what we're here to discuss. And thereafter, after a couple of things that I have to share with you, I would be then taking on questions. So you do see that there is a question mark right here next to the comments. That will be a question box. So please do share in your questions, whichever you have throughout the session. All right. So okay, so let's begin with living in the here and now. So what do we here mean by here and now? Okay, aaj abhi isi waqt in Hindi, that's what we would say, right? So let me start off by asking you a question here. And the question is, have you ever had a conversation with anyone who's always talking about the past? Ye hua, wo hua, this happened, that happened, so and so, and everything that is in the past. Have you ever had that conversation with somebody? I'm pretty sure you have, right? It's exhausting. I'm sure it's exhausting because they're only and constantly always talking about what has happened. And they don't seem to be getting their way into the future. And that can be very exhausting for you as a listener to constantly hear about these things. So let's move on to somebody who talks about in the future. Now, if somebody is always talking about the future and always saying, kash ye hota, kash wo hota, ye shayad ho jaye, wo shayad ho jaye, every time they are only talking about the future, right? That also is pretty exhausting, correct? So it's this person who you can meet wherein they can be talking about the future or they can be talking about the past. But both ways, it is really exhausting and they can be different people all in your life, right? Well, a lot of us do this, a lot of us. So it's not just people in our life, but it's you and me as well. We land up doing this a lot of times. We land up talking about the ifs, the buts, kya hota, aisa hota, vaisa hota. We also start to say magar, shayad, all these things as well come to our mind. And we keep on using the word if. And we keep on using the word but. And we talk about had this been done better, shit, yeah, my life would have been so much better. Or had I thought about this before, I would have probably taken a better decision, and so on and so forth. What are we here doing? We're jumping between the past and the future, the past and the future, the past and the future. But what are we not doing here? We're not seeing what is here. We're not seeing what's down beneath our nose. We're not seeing what's right now with us in the now. So we're always talking about what if. Let me change the word if for you to what is. What if this happened? What is happening? Game changer word, right? So what here you need to focus on is not the if and the but. What is happening? It's very important to be in the present, to be relevant. Today, a lot of us want to be noticed, a lot of us want to be cherished, a lot of us want to be appreciated, a lot of us want all of these things. A lot of us want attention, in short, correct? And that's a human need. It's not wrong, it's a human need. But we always make ourselves so repulsive, which means here the word repulsive means that people don't like us sometimes because we're always cribbing, you know. We land up cribbing. You might be like, no, Benaisha, but I don't crib. I'm not like that. I'm very different. Okay, good. That's great. But if at all, even that 5% of cribbiness is there within you, like, I should have done this, I should have done that, and this space shows up, then that's not good. So change the what if to what is in the now. And trust me, a lot of things will change. We need to focus on what is happening currently in order to actually succeed, in order to actually take things into perspective. So this, I feel personally, for me and all the clients that I've advised this to, has been a game changer for that. And they always kind of thank me and they say, you know what, Benaisha, that's so true, simply because we are always focusing on things that have happened or things that are going to happen, which we're not sure if they will happen also or not happen, right? So what is the point of having all this anticipation and assumption? Last week I spoke about assumption. Last week I spoke about assumption, how it only makes an ass out of you and me. Same way, why to assume the future when you don't even know what could happen right now, right? So moving on to the next thought is that a lot of us live like this for a lot of our lives. And now you might say that, okay, I might not say these things. Another thing about living in the here and now is, have you ever, say for example, right now you're in this live session with me, okay? But you are also watching TV, but you are also kind of cooking you're also cooking, or you're trying to read a book and you're listening to this live, or you're with your child and you're kind of juggling, you're making him or her play and you're listening to this live. So you're doing so many things, right? So if I ask you, what are you right now doing? You will not have an answer. You will say, I'm doing this, but mentally I'm thinking about my uncle and aunt, but I'm also doing this. There are so many things that you're actually doing. So where is your mind present? Where are you actually? Nowhere. See, if you want to fight for everything and be everywhere, you will land up being nowhere. Always remember that. You are one person in singular format and in singular mind, heart and spirit. You can't be everywhere and know everything and always be super updated on everything that's happening now. Let's try to focus what's happening with our lives in the current and in the present of now. So there are lots of times, I get parents who've got their kids to me and said, he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't pay attention to anything that I have to say. Or spouses come and say, we're always fighting and we actually don't have anything to say and that's why we fight. And I take them aside separately and I ask them what are their behaviors, and they always land up saying, he's on his phone, she's on his phone, they talk to everybody else but me, or when I'm talking they're doing something with their phone, or the child tells me that actually when I'm playing with my mother or playing with my father, they're just busy on their phones or they're watching TV. That's what they do. So what are you really here doing? You're not paying attention to what you're supposed to do. You're going on a date but you're on your phone. So the real date is your phone or the person. You really don't know. Are you having a play date with your child, or are you actually having a play date with your phone and the TV or the cooking gas? What exactly are you doing? You're not in the moment now. That is also saying that you're not in the here and now. There are various segments that we work on when we say living in the here and now. So one is using the ifs and the buts. The second one is this example that I just now told you about not physically being present, which also doesn't mentally make you be present. Now, back in the day, a lot of times, you must have grown up with knowing the fact that multitasking is a big thing and it's a great thing and everyone should do it, and women multitask better than men and men can't multitask, and everyone was walking with this chip on their shoulder saying, I can multitask and I'm cool. Well, let me tell you, now that is the only ability that makes us look like fools. Why? Because multitask here means that you're neither paying attention to this or to that. You're trying to do both this and that, and where are you exactly? Nowhere. So to be everywhere, you have landed up being actually nowhere. Correct? So multitasking was back in the 90s and 80s and whatever era you want to really call it as. But today, if you want to be successful in any format, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an employee, whether you're just nothing and no one, but everyone and someone, right? If you're not professionally doing something great that you think so, but that's fine. Multitasking is not something that our generation, today's generation, should indulge in. Why? Because today we're in this phase of specialization. Today we hire specialists. We prefer going to somebody who's specialist in a particular field of medicine also. No one goes to so many wouldn't want to go to a general practitioner for something which is specialized, right? For a skin disease you'll go to a dermat. So why not specialize with what you are doing also? Why become so aam janta every time? Why to kind of be everywhere and actually mentally be nowhere? So what I would here say is that a lot of us keep on saying that I want to stabilize, I want to be calm, I want to be peaceful, I want my mental health to be pristine and all of that. But we always want to multitask. We never want to sit in one place and actually enjoy the moment. How many times have you actually just sat with a cup of tea, looked outside the window and enjoyed the birds and enjoyed nature without thinking? Now you'll say, Benaisha, all of us don't have the luxury of doing that. Most of us don't have it. We've got to make time for it. If we have so much time for everything in our lives that require us, fun fact, isn't it important that our own body, our own life needs us first? Before a mother, you are a girl. Before a daughter, you are a girl. Before an employee, you are a girl. I'm just using girl right now because I'm a girl, but it's the same applicable for men as well. So my point here to drive to you is that always know that an empty glass will not pour. This is my favorite dialogue. If you are not there for yourself, how can you be there for others? If you don't exist in mind, body, spirit, how can you be there for mind, body, spirit for somebody else? So try to live in the here and now. It has its benefits and I'll come to that in just a couple of minutes. Let me kind of build it up to explain to you why is it important to be in the here and now. So we are always planning for our future and we are always dwelling in the past. No one's currently looking at today. Why is that happening is again multitasking, because we're always thinking आगे जाके क्या करना पड़ेगा, we'll have to save up for this, we'll have to do this, that, and we're always living ahead of our time. So what is happening is that people around you will start repulsing you by saying that, but he has the money now, he has the health now, he has the family now, why is he not enjoying now? Outsiders can see that you're not living in the present, and you can see this for other people in their lives but not see this for yourself. That is another sad fact of our intelligence. So this is something to kind of bring to you and get you to think that, wait, I need to stop, I need to take a deep breath, I need to pause, and I need to really re-evaluate. Am I truly living within my fullest capacity? Am I truly understanding that I need to focus on one thing and one thing alone? When you're watching TV, give it your full concentration. When you're eating, give it your full concentration. Let me tell you something from my childhood. So I'm someone who, I'm dyslexic and I have ADHD, which is attention deficit hyper disorder. My father used to tell me this. He's like, when you're watching TV, you should concentrate and watch TV, because then you should know what you're actually watching TV for. If you're eating, you should concentrate and eat. If you're studying, you should concentrate and study. His main point was to tell me that do whatever you do with great concentration. Ultimately, his point was that I needed to study with concentration. So he kind of put in the fillers of TV. But it actually made so much sense, because you land up watching an entire season and somebody asks you what happened and you say, nothing. Really? Nothing? 12 episodes, like 13 seasons, and nothing happened? Really? So understand here that our communication skills get affected because we're not present. How? Because when somebody asks you a question like this and you daze out and say, nothing really, it's okay. What happens? You don't land up communicating. You don't land up communicating with your child, with your spouse, and you keep on passing these traits to other people as well. Your friends, your family will also respond to you like that. So it is very, very important to live in the now, right? And another thing here that I wanted to bring about, talking about when you're with somebody, right? Today, for example, I'm sitting in front of you and you're constantly fidgeting with your phone or you're fidgeting with other things. You are not only not listening to me, but you're also insulting me. Because today, if somebody is talking to you and you're just kind of looking at them like blankly, or you're constantly doing this and then just doing this, you're giving them half attention, and that's not really good. So keep in mind that living in the here and now is not just about for your own self, but it's also about giving respect to the opposite person, whether it's a child or whether it's an adult. It's supremely and utmostly important. So a lot of us also go through anxiety today, right? That's another point I wanted to cover. So anxiety is a very, very big part of who we are today. Of course, with everything that's going around, people are anxious. All of us have different reasons for being anxious, but all of us have been anxious at some point or the other, or we've been nervous for something or the other. Now, this is also because we are always anticipating. We're assuming, kal kya hoga, future mein kya hoga, wo kya bolega, वो क्या बोलेगी. So what are we doing here? We're anticipating the future and getting scared of the past. अरे वो हुआ था ना, इसीलिए I can't do this. That happened, right? So I can't do this. We judge our present relationships depending on our past relationships. We don't allow the present relationship to actually bloom to its utmost ability because we are scared that the same thing will happen what the past person did. So we really don't give the present a chance only. This present looks like a lost child, looking here, looking there, and it's pretty much lost, right? Because wait, who am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be like the past and be right? Or am I supposed to be better and be like a future which is better? Again, we don't know. So what happens here is that we kind of get torn. We don't give our relationships attention. We don't give ourselves attention. We don't give our health that kind of attention. None of it really matters in the now because we're always torn between yesterday and tomorrow. So that's another thing here. So now finally coming to what would be the benefits of being positively present. So there is a blog that I utmostly love, which is called Positively Present, and I love using this name. And what I feel here, positively present, is you have to be present in the now and you have to be positive about it, which means that however messy today looks, you have to give it that little nudge, that little push, and saying that don't worry, you'll be better and you'll be better, right? When your day goes bad at the start in the morning, what do you land up doing? Oh, today's a bad day, aisa hi jaane wala hai, today's my day is going to go bad. Instead of that, how about you actually say today's going to be a good day, it'll get better, don't worry, it'll get better. Keep telling yourself that. That's also being positively present. So there are a couple of notes that I actually made here because I kind of thought of so many things and I was like, wait, that's not going to be possible for me to remember. So I'm going to kind of take heed of my notepad here. So first and foremost is you become alert as an individual, which is super, super important, right? When you are present in the here and now, what really happens is you become alert, you become aware of what's happening with you. And so that tomorrow somebody asks you a question, you actually can say what has happened with you, such as what happened in those episodes. Something happened and this is what happened. Or for that matter, when you're sitting across somebody for say a meeting or say for a date, you actually are getting to know them better and you're not constantly on their phones. You will actually here realize the relationships that you're living with. If you paid a little more attention, if you gave a little more focus to them, you would know much more about them than you actually and already know. Live in the here and now. The second thing is your communication with one another will definitely improve. Obviously, because you'll be alert, you'll know more, you'll understand more, and that's how your communication will be better. And of course, your listening skills will also be better because you're being present, you are listening more, and always listen more and then talk less and be the last to speak. The third thing is that you are here looking at the finer and smaller details of life. As I just mentioned right now, you will start to see things in your child, in your spouse, with your friends, the smaller, finer details like, oh, you like this. Oh, I never knew that. Or you eat like this. I never knew that. Or you actually like this color quite a bit. I never knew that. Right? All these things keep on coming to us when we pay attention. So the finer things are important as well, right? And obviously that makes you a great observer, and being a good observer always helps you to understand what next step you should take. The next point is that here you are giving everything to the person sitting in front of you, whether it's your child, whether it's your spouse, whether it's a friend, family, employee, anyone. You're giving them attention. So what are you doing here? You're boosting the biggest thing what human need is, which is attention. You're giving somebody attention, right? When you give the opposite person attention, they give you respect, you give them respect, and that keeps on going on and on. So that relationship not only flourishes on being a good listener, it flourishes on respect, on mutual respect. So living in the here and now will make the opposite person, who could even be distracted, to give you attention because you are focusing on them. Don't give up on somebody sitting opposite you just because they are not listening to them. So there are many times when I'm sitting with a child and he's supremely distracted and his parents have sent him to me, and he doesn't want to talk to a stranger at the first go. I don't give up on him and say, okay, you know what, your child is not talking, please take him away. I don't think I can counsel him. No, you keep going forward and you keep being persistent so that the opposite person knows that you aren't giving up on him. And that's when they want to make that effort. When you don't give up on somebody, that's when relationships truly flourish, because sometimes people just need that little nudge. So do so. Right. And lastly, but I can kind of go on and on, but you just get the point here. And lastly, what I feel is super important is that you become an organized person. So when you are in the here and now, you exactly know what are the things that you need to do and what are the things that you don't need to do. So you start to actually focus on the real tasks rather than, oh my God, I have lots of work, I'm super busy, I have so many things to do, I've mentally made so many lists I have to do here, there, everywhere, blah, blah, blah. No. You might be the CEO and the MD of the company also, and you might have a lot of responsibilities. But if you don't structure and if you don't take one task at a time, you're going to be pretty much nowhere. So always remember, no matter who you are and where you are in life, you always have to be here first. Think of what you can do now. Think of what is now rather than what will happen or what might happen, right? So I just want to let you know that yesterday has gone to come to today. Today is going to go to then come to tomorrow. And till that time, just be in the here and now. Because unless you are not present, you're not going to understand who you truly are and what you can do. When people say all the magic is within you and inside you, what they really mean is to take a moment and to take a breath and to really see what all you've got today. Also, gratitude journals don't work unless and until you're in the here and now. So don't practice anything like that unless you really know what you're actually doing. So this was a little bit about the here and now from mine end to yours. Now let me take on a couple of questions that I might have received, hopefully. And I'm going to turn on commenting. Okay. So on some of the questions, I've just got like, nice session, amazing, all that. So just waiting on a couple of questions to come in, because right now I've only got thumbs up and hands up and all of that. So someone's asked me what's my name. My name is Binaisha Kharas. And Yeah. No questions, none at all. Either I've been super clear to y'all, or I have just made y'all go, this is something to think about. Well, great. Even in my questions here, I've got just a bunch of you saying nice things to me. Thank you so much. Okay, so I've got a question from Ranveer, and you ask me, please advise on how to tackle overthinking. Super question. So how to tackle overthinking is the key to be here and now. So for example, overthinking always starts with, do you think this will happen? Do you think that might happen? What if this happened? What if that happened? Take a moment and see what is currently happening. Don't cross the bridge unless it comes. And sometimes in life, people don't get that bridge. So don't judge your life's challenges depending on other people's challenges. Just because I have failed in some part of my life and you are my friend and you are going through the same scenario doesn't mean that you will also have a bad experience. So please know that and be okay with that by saying that, okay, you know what, I don't have to compare my journey to her journey. So that is the biggest cause of overthinking. All right. Okay, the other question is, what should one do to be in the present now? Well, to begin with, make a checklist of all the things that you really need to do. So you kind of are on task. The other thing that you need to do in the present now is that anytime your mind keeps on drifting away by saying that I should have done this, decisions would have been better, tell yourself, you know what, it's fine, I made that decision because I wanted it at that point of time, and now be fierce to face that, because I feel like a lot of us chicken out and we go like, oh, I shouldn't have made it, but you made it. So stick with your decision, because that is another problem which we kind of then start to have. So stick with your decision. All right, another question Moon asks, how to make children focus more? So that's a good question. So when you start focusing on things, your children start aping you. So your child actually apes you forever and always, of course, as we know. However, what we need to keep in mind is that our children, when they're young, especially from the age of, a toddler till the age of at least, 15, I would say, they constantly are developing new habits, and those habits stem from their surroundings. So what they really learn best from is modeling. You model good behavior. So for example, if when you're spending time with your child, you need to focus on your child more and don't give up. So this is, again, a parent needs to be highly motivated to make the child understand that, if you do this, there is a benefit. If you play this game, there is a benefit. Make the child understand what the benefit in that activity is, and then you also be 100% present in that space. Because if that's something that you don't show, people will then your child then will start to say that mom's not doing it or dad's not doing it, so why should I do it? So you need to be positively present then and not give up. All right, okay, another thing is, love to hear something for early 20s girls for developing careers. I'm not really sure I'm someone who can give career advice, to be very honest, Madhu. But I would just say that whenever thinking about the career, try to weigh its pros and cons. Make a list of if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. That's a good thing for careers. But don't stress into so much of the future and really go with what you love to do. Because when I started my career, a lot of people said that, how will you make money? Like, who's gonna pay you to give advice? Well, I have a bunch of you who are listening to me right now, maybe not directly paying me or anything, but being highly appreciative of the fact of any knowledge or skill that I'm giving you your way. So I feel that a lot of times there are many people who will dissuade you at the start of your career simply because they don't have the ability of the vision that you might have. That's the only career advice I would give you for a girl to another girl. How should I manage mental wellness with physical wellness? So I think Namami Life is doing a great thing at it to begin with. So you're the right space. But Utkarsh, to answer you in a short form, mental and physical wellness go hand in hand, because your mental is a part of your physical, quite obviously. And it's really important that you understand that physically you might be making yourself supremely fit, but if you are thinking wrong, now what do I mean by thinking wrong? If you are constantly thinking in a direction of negativity, all of those things all the time, what actually happens is that your body might look really buffed and nice, but when you speak, your thoughts, your ideas, your values might not come across positive to somebody else. So then you might land up being repulsive to certain people who want to have a mental connection with you rather than just a physical connection. So it's really important to exercise both. So I feel a lot of meditation does help. And if you're not someone who meditates, then use your pen and start writing and letting your thoughts flow. All right, just want to take a few more questions before I say bye to you. I'm not able to get out of my past. What should I do? I work a lot and make myself busy, but whenever I get free, I think about my past. Okay, that's because you've never addressed your past. So if you've had like a past bad relationship or a bad experience, sit down and actually face it head on. Fine, I had a bad relationship. So what? I have survived. I am in human form today. I have moved on and taken these steps, worked on my happiness in so and so format, and I don't feel inadequate today because of one thing not working out for me. Now, past could be meaning losing people as well, right? Like they've passed away in our lives, and that we cannot get over. Understand, even karmically, if you don't let a person pass away peacefully, you're kind of holding on to them, and that will bother you more than them because they are gone. And that you will keep on kind of telling yourself that, oh no, but I feel them around me, or they're there and I need to be there, or we had such good times. Yes, but life has chosen a different path for you, and in such a scenario you must try to put it aside and say that was a good period of my life and now I need to move forward. If we keep on letting the strings hold us behind us, we will never be able to move forward, and we will only be then creating knots in our future relationships. So not addressing the past is actually that's the reason why the past keeps showing up, because you have allowed it to show up. When I get couples who tell me that my past relationship, I'm happily married now, but my past relationships still come in in my marriage right now, that is because you've not shut that door. You've not let that person say bye and I'm done, I'm really happily married. You keep going back and saying, oh yeah, but those times were so good, oh yeah, but what we did was so good. Then how are you happily married? You're not living in the present. So shut that door. And you can't be friends. Sometimes we don't have the ability to be friends with our past. We can't be friends with our exes and previous colleagues and things like that, because they keep pulling us back. So shut that door and then move forward. Otherwise, you're just making a joke of yourself by saying that I have moved on, but they are not letting me. No, you are also walking back. So I hope I've answered this question. And so everyone's just saying hi right now. Great. Hi to all of you. Great. So a bunch of you have replied by saying those good answers. Great. So the last question that I'm taking here from Madhu is, kindly guide on improving self-image too. Often we get tied up believing negative remarks of those around us. So Madhu, you actually have stolen the topic of next to next week. So we're going to be talking about self-image and how we can work towards having a better self-image. So I'm going to leave you at that tease and join me next to next week. So every alternate Mondays, I will be here at 6 p.m. on Namami Life to have these engaging chats with you. And it's been great for all of you who've stuck on till the very end. And great. So see you soon and take care.